Being a pamphleteer, plus instructions on how to make a double pamphlet. Pamphlets were among the first printed materials, and they were widely used in England, France, and Germany. The first great age of pamphleteering was inspired by the religious controversies of the early 16th century. In France, so many pamphlets were published in support of the Reformation that edicts were issued by the church prohibiting them. Indeed, the First Amendment rights of free speech in the United States are informed by the political history of the pamphlet. In Germany, Martin Luther was one of the earliest and most effective pamphleteers in his critiques of the Catholic Church. In addition to its use for religious and political purposes, the pamphlet has also been used as a form for fiction, autobiography, slanderous personal attacks, as well as social and literary criticism. While over time their function became overtaken by newspapers and periodicals, they remain an effective form of self-publishing. Here's a pamphlet used as an exhibition catalog for a show by Surrealist artists in 1932, which included a cover illustration by Joseph Cornell. A common pamphlet format today is a zine, short for magazine, which is a small circulation, self-published work of original or appropriated text and images, often printed by a copy machine or laser printer. Zines are the product of either a single person or a very small group. The pamphlet form can also be used as a one-of-a-kind work as well. So I'm going to show you how to make a double pamphlet with the supplies listed here: an awl, waxed book thread, needle, bone folder, 4 small binder clips, 6 sheets of paper which will form the 3 folios in each of the double sides of the pamphlet folded in half, a longer sheet of the same spine height that will link them together, as well as a 3-hole template from a 7-inch tall piece of paper or cardstock. So here I'm showing the supplies I'll use to make the double pamphlet. I have 6 sheets of paper, 7 inches tall, a longer sheet of paper, 7 inches tall, a little template that's the same spine height, an awl, a bone folder, binder clips, as well as thread and a needle. What I'll do is make my 2 signatures, each of which will be made of 3 folios. One sheet of paper folded over is called a folio, and then when they're nested together, it's called a signature. Now, the number of folios you can use to make a signature will vary depending upon the weight of the paper. Here with printmaking paper, 300-gram weight, Reeves BFK, I can only use 3 sheets of paper, 3 folios to form a signature. If I have a lighter weight drawing paper, I could use more to make each one of these signatures. So here's one signature made of 3, and then I have a second signature that's made of 3 folios. And so I've set those up and nested them together. Now a conventional pamphlet, a single pamphlet, can be made by taking one of these signatures and using my jig, and I make my whole templates by folding it in half and then folding over the further ends, and this way I have 3 equidistant holes that I can use. And using the awl through that, I can locate the position of those 3 holes. So when this is set in the pamphlet, I have a guide for making the pamphlet. However, today I'm showing a double pamphlet. The single pamphlet is a pretty straightforward thing. So taking the longer sheet of paper, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to determine how far into that the double pamphlet center seam is going to be. So I chose about 1.5 inches or so here. And then I'm folding this over so they're aligned, and this will form a kind of W shape, right? And then I'll place each one of my pamphlets into that W shape. And what I can do is use binder clips. I can hold those sheets of paper together there. Make sure your binder clip goes around the full signature. And so this pins it in place there. And my concern is to align the center axis through all of the signatures as well as the longer sheet. And then I can position my template on there to align through that middle. And then I can reclamp my binder clips to hold that template in place. I like to get the binder clips to hold it first in alignment, and then use 2 or 3 of those binder clips to hold it in place. So now it's perfectly aligned through the center of the double pamphlet. Now using my awl, sometimes it'll take a little twisting, I will push the awl through the previously assigned holes in the template. I can now remove the center template by moving the binder clip slightly to the outside. And now I have holes that are positioned right through not only both signatures of the double pamphlet. I also have the, um, the holes through the longer sheet. Now using about 2.5 times the height of the spine in waxed book thread, I can have a piece of book thread that will pull all these together. I use my bone folder to flatten the edge of the book thread, and then I can thread the needle here. I only want to go through I only want it to go through about a little bit of the book thread, then fold it over and twist it into itself. So I start in the middle, make sure you don't get caught up on the binder clips, come back through the other side, come back through the middle. So this is forming a kind of figure 8 pattern. And what you'll notice is after you come through the middle again, I've left about 1 inch on the inside where I began, I will have the thread going in 2 separate directions. Then what I will do is I will go underneath and around on the far side, then back through the middle, and then I can clip off the extra thread and tie it out. So this way I'm creating a kind of knot on the far side and a knot on the inside. I can trim off the excess book thread, remove the binder clips, and then folding the book from the outside first, I can create a really nice sort of double edge there along the far outside spine. This is one of the beautiful things about the double pamphlet. And you can see the center section there. So I can choose to treat the excess paper. I could trim it off. I can fold it over on the inside here. And then fold it over on the outside, and this makes a great little sketchbook. You can put a little piece of Velcro there to hold it in place or whatever. Or I could also now, as I folded it, trim off one of the edges there, and then the other side becomes a flap. So I hope you found this brief history of the pamphlet and its uses, as well as the demo on how to make a double pamphlet useful and interesting. Whether you're using the form to make a one-of-a-kind work or as part of a social, political, moral campaign, either way, the pamphlet is a great, simple, and direct way to communicate your ideas. Thanks.